I knew I wanted to be buy and hold. I knew that I was going to be buying properties and holding them and renting them out and helping other people. Everyone has this innate desire behind them that they've been pushing it back and thinking, I can't do that. This passion started when you were 10 years old, but it's sticking there and it's just eating at the back of your mind.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Be the Connection podcast, where we dive into stories of community, mentorship, and success. My mission is to bring you inspiring conversations, real insights, and the kind of value that helps you grow. So grab a seat, settle in, and let's get connected. All right, Be the Connection family, welcome back. Today we're heading to the beautiful and unique landscape of Alaska to connect with a truly inspiring guest, Grady Iverson. Grady is newer to the real estate, and as an investor who's already making his mark, he has some thoughtful strategies like buy and hold and innovative co-living concepts.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that introduction.
Absolutely. Grady, it's fantastic to have someone with your fresh perspective, especially investing from a unique location like Alaska and diving into strategies like co-living right from the get-go. What is it like building a real estate business in Alaska? Like, what are some of the unique opportunities or challenges you encounter there? And what led you to do that?
It's really interesting because being in Alaska, you kind of feel like you're out on your own. Even in the investing world, there's not a lot of people in the state of Alaska. There's cities that have more people than the entire state. And so I've been super blessed to be able to travel around. In regards to investing, I started out in Alaska and I've got to spend 3 to 6 months in different locations to see what it's like and see the difference. And the community here is very small, but it's a group of amazing hearted individuals that really want to help and get out there and help people. But the live interaction with quality, or I shouldn't say quality, but with people that are actually doing the work, that they've built the businesses, they've built those kind of things, is a lot smaller. So you don't get as much of that interaction that most other states, not all, have the opportunity to get. I've actually had investment properties for a little over 7 years now and wanted to get into investing. Didn't quite know how, but had some rental properties. Didn't call myself an investor or any of that thing with real estate. It was just, I've got a rental property. Everything lined up to where it's like, okay, God's leading me in this direction. It's time to just go for it. Starting out in Alaska was tough. There's some great people here, but everything's connecting over the phone via Zoom, which is great. But for me, I love that face-to-face interaction. And so I build a lot more off that. And that was a struggle for myself, learning to shift to the networking aspect being Zooms, being Google Meets, instead of, hey, let's go grab a coffee. Let's sit and talk. Yes. Let's talk about life. Let's get to know each other. And so learning to bridge that gap between a face-to-face interaction and making it a natural conversation via Zoom is a little more difficult for me, but a fun thing that I did need to learn.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. That's how we met.
Yep, it is.
So, well, good. I'm glad. And have you seen that's gotten better over time?
The more I do it, the easier it is. It's not that it was something that was difficult. It just was more awkward. I mean, I could be an awkward person. I love being the awkward person. Everyone's looking at like, what's his problem? What is he on? And, so I was comfortable in the awkwardness, but it's just a different type.
Yeah, I can understand. And so how do you feel that's kind of led you to focus in more on your buy and hold and co-living?
I started out testing the waters and wholesaling like a lot of people do. Met some amazing people, but I knew that's not where I wanted to be. I knew I wanted to be buy and hold. I knew that I was going to be buying properties and holding them and renting them out and helping other people out. So it was more of a work into the understanding that, hey, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to start at ground zero and climb the ladder to get through wholesaling. There are other ways that I can bring value at a higher level while still building out this point, because the people that really love wholesaling, the people that's their passion, they just enjoy those conversations calling people, and they're going to keep doing it because they love it. Well, why don't I help them build by starting my buy and hold company, and I can buy properties off them? And so part of it was understanding that, yes, I don't have to do and know everything. There's other ways to bring value to people doing what I want and where I want. Yes. And it's finding that value point on where am I actually being of service to other businesses, and where is my business being service to the people we're helping.
How are you defining success for yourself at this stage?
That is a great question.
Probably going to go deep with these questions.
Perfect. The deeper, the better. So defining success for me right now is, are we moving forward? Am I taking the uncomfortable actions that's actually moving my business forward? Are my team members seeing growth personally and in the business? And then are we reaching our KPIs, our goals, where we want to get to, so that we can continue to grow and build this business?
And can you tell us more about your role as a connector with your real estate activity?
Yeah, I love this question. You are a connector. If you want to be very, very successful at any role, you also are a connector, because the whole point of the connector is helping put people in the places they need to be to keep moving forward. Maybe it's sell a property. Maybe it's, hey, I know someone that has a property they want to sell. For me, I started out wholesaling. I was reaching out to wholesalers to learn, to have all this stuff. And then when I shifted into what I really want to do and where I'm supposed to be, I had already built up these connections with wholesalers. And so going back to them and say, hey, I'm not wholesaling anymore. I'm actually buy and hold. So when you get a property, send it my way. I got to be the connection for myself. And when I ran into other people that are buy and hold and they're in a different area, or even if they're in my area, hey, I actually know this person over here, they're wholesaling. You guys should reach out to them and see if you align business-wise and if they've got what you need.
Yes.
And so it's just been one of those things that it's wherever you're at in business, whatever you're doing, a constant growth, building connections, and just being of service where you can. You may hear of one person looking for, man, our business has been struggling with marketing. We're having trouble here. And next week you end up talking to someone, and what do? They run a marketing business.
Yes.
Oh, I remember Bee was telling me that they need help on marketing. Hey, I know someone that might need a little help. Are you looking for more people to build your marketing business on? What's the best way to get you guys connected?
Yes. Have there been any specific individuals or perhaps less traditional networking methods that that have really impacted you lately?
I'm the guy that'll talk to anyone at a coffee shop, at the grocery store. I'll say hi to whoever. And so a lot of people, they don't think about it or they don't want to deal with it. But talking with random people, you never know where they're at in life or business, and if you can be of help to them without having a conversation. And so it's not just, hey, I talk to everyone in real estate groups. I think for me, it's just having those random talks with strangers has been a good point. I got to hear great stories. For me, it was great education, great learning and understanding of another aspect that I didn't have.
Yes, that's awesome. I love hearing that more about you and what you're doing and how you are with people. Grady, for your approach, as you shared, is your core belief in people's positive nature and your drive to pull that out and get a team working together for the greatest outcome. So that's a powerful philosophy. How does this belief in the good in people shape your daily interactions in real estate, whether it's with potential tenants, partners, or contractors, especially in the co-living environment?
Yeah, so it's one of those things that can also be a problem, because if you're not willing to do the right due diligence, which I've had to learn the hard way, I'm not here to base who you are based on what other people tell me, but I can utilize that to add areas of protection for myself in conversation and working together. But I'm also going to give you an opportunity to forge who you are in my own opinion and not use that to control how I feel about you. Now, when having a talk with a contractor. We've had some great talks before, but somebody's warned me about them. Hey, this is what happened, la-di-da-di-da. Then you got to have that tough conversation and be willing to step up and say, here's the things that I've heard. And I just have to be protecting of myself and my business. If this is how you operate on a regular basis, it doesn't align with my business. It doesn't align with the people that we want to operate. Now, if this was a fluke, if something happened, that's fine. You don't need to explain it all to me, but I need to know that bringing you on to do this work, that the work's going to get done. Now, if you say, well, things come up and stuff happens and you can't control everything, well, that's going to put something back in my head. Like, we all have excuses for everything. But are you utilizing those excuses to hold you back and keep you from living life to your full potential? Or are you using those excuses to make a quick buck and then leave and not actually do the work? Like, what is the real purpose behind? What is it that you're trying to gain and do? And so you kind of have to work through that and really figure out if a person have a great heart for people or for helping their family or other people, but they just might not be aligned with how a person my business wants to do business with. I firmly believe I'm not here to judge people. You perceive the moment right now that we're having because I don't understand what you've been through. I wasn't raised the way you were raised. And so it's really coming through making sure that people know, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to say you're a bad person or can still be your friend and we just not work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned honesty and integrity as actually, you also shared a vital lesson, trust but verify. Can you tell us some more about an experience that cemented that principle for you?
I was always told that growing up, trust but verify, even with friends, with people, with business. I worked in the oil and gas industry. I started a digital marketing business. And one instance, I was building out the digital marketing agency. And I really wanted to help small businesses in Alaska get shown to people, all that stuff. I found a business that was struggling and they were looking for help on marketing. I stepped up to help them. They wanted a lot of different things, and the agreement that was made was that I could fulfill those needs, make it happen, and then once I showed X amount of growth, they would start paying me X amount. Got through the process, did the hours of work, built out their marketing plan. They started to see growth, and there was no conversation after that. Ghosted me. And so there was a lot of little things where it's like, hey, it's my own fault for not having a proper contract in place. I did have a contract, but the agreement wasn't clear on when and how the pay structure was going to happen. It said the contract will be renegotiated at X point, and they washed their hands of me. Now, I could have gone and said, hey, okay, I have access to, I built the website, and I can shut it down and say, hey, pay me or this stuff stays down. Instead, it was, I'm going to come in. I need to have a conversation with you guys. It's not about pay. Here's the website. I'm deleting my logins. Do with it what you will. The option is yours, but just so you know, I will no longer come into your business. I leave. I get a call from a friend who's doing the same thing, digital marketing. He's like, hey, I just got a new client. I noticed their website. Is this something that you built? It's like, yeah. Okay, what was your experience like? Well, all I can say is make sure you have a good contract. They will find every loophole they can not to pay, for my experience, but you need to have a good conversation with them to make sure that you're lined up and in a proper place. It's been 3-4 years. He's still doing digital marketing for him and doing great. But he had a great contract in place, and they were able to explain what was going on to him. And I got a call back about a year and a half later from the business owner with an apology, which was really nice. There's so many different instances, even with friends, with family, putting trust in a family member to do something. And I have no doubt that in my past experiences, I've been that person where, hey, you need to trust and verify that Grady needs to get this done.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned honesty and integrity and as what sets you apart. And so in a competitive industry, how do you ensure these values remain the forefront of your deals and relationships?
Just tell the truth. If you don't know, you don't know. If you can't do it, you can't do it. There's no reason to lie about this stuff, because the other part to it is wholesaler calls me, hey, I've got a deal here. We need it gone in this amount of time. It's like, dude, I can't close in 2 days. Well, it's a really good deal. Like, it may be the best deal in the world, but right now I can't close in 2 days. And I don't know anyone who can. I'd love to connect you to someone, but I don't know. When I hear of somebody, I'll let you know, but it's going to be most likely in more than 2 days away. And, when dealing with different, because there's a lot of, real estate is amazing. The opportunities to help build each other and build each other's businesses up together, it is all over the place. And there are friends, there are people I work with. Would you partner on this deal? Oh, I got to look at the deal. I could say, yeah, I got to look into this. Let me crunch the numbers and come up with an excuse on why I can't. I just don't think we'd be good partnering up on a deal or doing business together.
That's so cool. Because you say that so calmly, and I love that.
Well,
Man.
You can let your emotions guide you. The times that I do that, where the emotions come out in frustration and anger, those are the moments that have ended the worst.
Yes.
And ended where, if I'm willing to pause and to take a second to think about it, or just tell them, hey, I'm flustered right now. Can we revisit this conversation in 30 minutes or in an hour? Let me go walk. I got to get my head right. Rather than, okay, things are getting heated, voices are getting raised. I'm going to say something that I know I don't want to say, and it's not who I am or who I want to be, and just let it out. And, oh, now this friendship's ruined. Now I have to apologize. That's not who I want to be. So, I've had to learn to stop, to take a breath, to realize and find those points that I am getting flustered, that I am speaking before I think, you have to learn those lessons, and things come up.
Yes, I'm still learning.
And it's a constant growth thing.
Yes, it is. I find myself doing that. Grady, there's something from when you filled out my intake form that really touched me. You said you're passionate about helping people through different medical situations. And that speaks volume about your character. Can you share a bit more about that passion?
Sure. So I've got a couple business partners who've come together and built out BlissBase Ventures. We're building our foundation, and the whole purpose behind this is we want to help people going through different types of medical situations. Think about if you're going through a surgery, a lot of people, especially in Alaska and even around the world, they travel to the US to go get medical surgeries done because we have some of the best doctors here. We have amazing doctors. So they'll travel here to get surgeries, either as specialty surgery, maybe it's an emergency surgery. Here in Alaska, a lot of people will get flown or sent to Seattle, depending on how major is the surgery. And a lot of people either can't afford it and they're getting into a Airbnb. Okay, we had our surgery. We have to stay in town for a week, 2 weeks, couple months, depending on what's getting done. Is it brain surgery? Is it cancer? Is it emergency child surgery? Now we got to stay here for a while. We're going to get a hotel. And then when they come out of surgery and they go to recovery, hey, you can go home. What does the home have to help them recover? Is it set up with amenities needed to make it so you can bathe yourself after certain surgeries, so you can use the toilet after certain surgeries, so you can sleep comfortably if you're not allowed to sleep flat on a bed? Does it have all those different types of amenities? And we want to change that, and we're going to.
Wow. So really, I mean, it's very accommodative to any, specific type.
Yeah. And there's a lot of little amenities that you can do that cover a broad range of, but there are specialty things like cancer, chemo. If you're getting chemo, you're looking at a lot of different things in the house because your immune system's totally shot. People in chemo, they may go back to their hotel or they may go back to their Airbnb, and they're still going to most likely be wearing a mask, having different things in place to make sure that they're not getting any bacteria because it is just fried at that point. Then you have back surgery, knee, hip surgeries, they're wheelchair bound. Okay, well now we need, a lot of hotels have wheelchair accessibility. That's great, but not everyone wants to stay in a hotel. We could go on and on talking about it for hours.
Yes. What do you feel like is it that drives your passion for that? Is there a connection between this deep desire to help people medically, whether in real estate or perhaps through your co-living, that just overall, why for being an investor?
There are a lot of different things. I grew up seeing family go. I got to see friends go through stuff. I got to see family members have to deal with things for their kids where they're traveling out of state. They're dealing with so many different medical situations from cancer, brain tumors, surgeries, shoulders, backs. And somebody in my family or friend has probably been through it. And so I went through my own stuff with thyroid issues. I got to live with my great aunt who went through a brain aneurysm and go through a lot of processes with her. I've seen friends and family go through different cancers, different MS, and a handful of other things where it was. And then the beautiful part is that my vision and dream that I had when I met my business partner and we started talking about it, it lined up very almost exactly. And so having that additional person that has such a similar vision that we get to build this together, additional people, it really adds to what you're doing and adds that motivation and passion to keep.
Yes. I got to say something, Grady. Just by the way you speak, because you say things so cool and so calm and so collective, you really do have like the best bedside manner. Really, that's very interesting. And just how you just lay it down for them and just you're open, you're honest, and, for this passion, especially for others listening who might have a deep passion outside of their direct business, how can they find ways to connect the passion to their work and use that as their professional platform to make an impact?
That is a great question. Each individual is different because there are a lot of mental blocks that we have to work through. There are different things that we have to accept about ourselves. Maybe you already know what your passion is. And I think a lot of it comes from your past experiences. Now, God, for me, I'm a firm believer in my faith. And I think that God puts a passion and a purpose in everyone, and that everyone has this innate desire behind them that they've been pushing it back and thinking, I'm not worthy of that. I can't do that. But realizing that this dream, this passion started when you were 10 years old, but it's sticking there and it's just eating at the back of your mind. There's a reason for that. It's not that you can't do it. You have the power. Everyone has the power to fulfill their dreams, their true desires, their passion. But if they can find that thing that ignites them, that makes them want to get up every morning, it's helping people. If I can help one person move forward in life, I am living the best life that I've ever lived. Because I know there's other people that they're taking that next step up, they're moving forward, they're getting closer to their goals, to their dreams. And it took me a long time to realize that that's where my passion was. I spent time reading books from Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Napoleon Hill, mindset books, passion book, all those kind of things. Like, man, I know I'm meant for more. I've always had this big desire to do more, to affect more lives, but either I don't know how or I don't feel I'm enough. Who would want to hear from me? Well, who wouldn't want to hear from you? We all come from a different perception in life. We all understand topics in a different way. Why not share what you have and help people move forward? And the cool thing now with AI, if people are struggling with it, you can utilize AI to help you get to that point. I want to find my purpose. I want to find my why. I want to find this portion of something in life. Ask me 10 clarifying questions to dive deeper into my purpose. Have a conversation with it, and it will help pull out that information. It may not happen immediately. It may not be like, hey, I sat here for 30 minutes. I answered all these questions. I still am lost.
Yeah. No, it takes a little bit longer.
But it might plant seeds that will lead to clarifying where it is that you truly want to go.
Yes. Yeah, we've been doing that lately. It's very interesting. So for someone else who is just starting out, perhaps feeling a bit isolated and unsure, what advice would you give them? I know you said AI. What other advice would you add to that?
Journaling. Spend time looking at the things that had shaped you to where you are, the things that bring you passion, that bring you joy, that make you want to get up. Maybe it's, hey, I get to hop on a podcast tomorrow and do this with this person. And it stays front of your mind and you're excited to do it. Look for little signs and keep track of them. I can't help but feel this joy, this peace, and be excited. And then start to look from there. Maybe experiences from your childhood is something that, I love swimming and playing on the lake and doing this. Maybe there's something I can do with that. Maybe I can take that further. And maybe your passion doesn't involve business. Maybe it involves being on your own. Maybe it involves just spending time with family, raising kids, spending time with loved ones, whatever it is. Everybody's different. And
yes,
don't aspire to be someone else. Aspire to be uniquely you, because we all have something different to add to the world and to add to other people.
Wow. Thank you. You're bringing up such good value, especially when it comes to just knowing yourself. Using AI, especially. I've been working a little bit with that. Learning how to communicate with my husband and how to be more sarcastic. So things like that. It's pretty funny.
Let me type this into AI so I have a sarcastic comeback for you.
Yeah. Yes. It's really helped. If you're using it correctly, it really does help one. For a lot of things that we have today or have had in the past, it was really tough. I feel like this has definitely opened that door to help us communicate better with each other, find, like you said, that purpose.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, you can utilize AI, but I think one of the biggest helps is finding somebody that knows how and understands how to dive into who you are and your purpose.
Yes.
How to work through limiting beliefs. And if you can find a coach or something along those lines, it's going to be extremely helpful. But I love the aspect that AI brings to people not being able to figure out more stuff quickly.
Yes.
And now the other part is some people need to hear information relayed verbally with context behind the vocal pitches and patterns of a voice rather than AI, which AI is getting really close. But maybe you're the type of person that needs somebody to actually speak things out to you, to relay that information back in a manner that you need. Maybe you're the type of person that needs little things to keep moving forward, and a coach or a partner or somebody to help hold you accountable to doing it.
Yes.
Like a gratitude journal 10 times. I don't know how many. I love journaling, but I hate it. It is the biggest struggle for me to get myself to sit down and write in a journal. I mean, it's hard, but what it does for me mentally and spiritually is huge. And it's so beneficial. And even knowing and seeing the benefits to it, I still struggle every day to sit down and do my journal.
Man, it makes me think of my affirmations. So I do that and daily. But once I'm done, I see so many benefits that come from it. I know there's a change, and that's what really pushes me to do it every single time. I'm like, what outcome do I want? You know, so.
And that's part of stepping into the uncomfortable. And I think, is it Bob Proctor talks about paradigms?
Yes.
So your paradigm, shift your paradigm, change your life. And what your paradigm is it's more of the life you're living. You can create the life you want, but you have to make changes to that. So we get in this area of comfortableness, of habits. And the more we do those habits, whether they're good or bad for us, the more comfortable it is for our body. Because it knows, it understands, our mind knows the expectation of what's going to happen. And so as we work to grow as people, to understand more, to be a better person or move where you want to go in life, you have to work through these different instances. And for me, journaling is a huge one. No matter how long I've been doing it, it's always a struggle.
Yes.
But I see a lot of benefit to it. And so I need to keep doing it because my body haven't set a good habit that's been done for, 200 and something days to solidify it in the subconscious. But as we do that and we change, our minds are growing and expanding who we are, the vibration, the frequency we're putting out, everything is moving up. And so as we adjust who we are, our subconscious mind naturally wants to say, it wants to go to the middle. It's like a rubber band. And so we're going to stretch it up. Okay, we're growing, and we're going to do things that bring us back to the middle. And then we're going to do bad things, and then it's going to bring us back to our middle, who we are. To adjust this line, we have to stretch that rubber band, hold it stretched, keep it stretched for quite a while. And then it's like, oh, this is normal. Okay, now we want to go a little further. And we're going to have dips, but the longer we can hold that out, the longer we can keep doing those things that the person we want to be, or the person we're working towards, can do. When we can live that life, we're already that person. We just have to stay consistent with it.
Yes.
And then everything comes natural.
Man, that's so good.
And so like with our brains, they're in the same aspect of a rubber band, but it grows and it doesn't stretch back as much. Every conversation we have, we're learning, we're holding on to a little bit of information, and it comes a little bit back. And then it's like, okay, here's Bee. Now Bee's listened to Grady talk for 45 minutes or whatever it's been. He said this amount of words, but what's sticking and what actually stuck and understood and was something that maybe you needed to hear, maybe you didn't, maybe it's just baloney and you're like, I don't know why I listened to this guy. Well, now your rubber band has expanded.
Yes.
And you're going to have more conversations throughout the day, and you're going to pick up more information. You're going to see things, hear things, smell, taste, all that. And your brain's going to take those new sensations, those new ideas and thought processes. It's going to fill it up, and then it's going to retract a little bit, but it's never, ever going to go back to where it was. There's always some new information. So I like to think of it, we have our brain and we have our personality. And our personality is stubborn. And so we have to keep that stretch for longer to keep it at that point and make it to where we are.
I like that analogy, especially our personality. I hadn't heard it like that before. That's a really great way to put it.
For me, I have to visualize it.
Yes, absolutely.
And if I can't, it takes a little longer to get the information to stick.
Love it. That's so good. This has been refreshing. Grady, if our listeners want to learn more about BlissBaseNet.net, your co-living projects, or just connect with you with your positive energy, which is the best way for them to do that?
So you can either, if you go to www.blissbase.net, there's our website. You can get a hold of me. It's got my email and phone number in there. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and you can reach out, shoot me a DM, and we can get talking. So.
Grady, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey and all the way from Alaska with us today, your belief in people, your innovative approach to co-living, and your passion just for helping others is truly inspiring. And it's a powerful reminder of the impact we can make. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And thank you for doing this, for spreading the word and, pulling out information from other people to share and learn from other perspectives. It's really awesome. I love what you're doing. You asked some amazing questions.
Thank you.
Keep it going.
Yes, I sure will. Be the Connection family. If Grady's story about building with integrity and his unique vision resonated with you, please let us know your thoughts in the comments. Share this episode with anyone who could use a dose of positivity and fresh perspective. Thank you again, Grady, for your time and for bringing such wonderful energy and insight. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you.
Appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out, and turn on notifications. We're all about sharing these amazing stories, and we'll see you on the next one.
Subscribe to Bree.
Yeah.